Hi, my name is Nico Murillo, and I was invited to share my bio with you from my friend Cody. Now, Cody and I went to high school together in a small country town called Brownwood. And after high school, I drove to the big city of Dallas, Texas to find myself. And I went to culinary school. I became a chef. I've been a chef for 20 years now. I started out as a pastry chef after culinary school, and I worked happily inside of hotels and country clubs for many years before transitioning into savory cooking. And I worked for a catering company before I was recruited by PepsiCo Global Foods slash Frito Lay to do product development for them. And I really didn't know what it was at the time. I just knew that they wanted me and that I was willing to go. And so I worked there for 10 years actually, and it was incredible. You work alongside, food scientists and food engineers, and you're creating global snacks, and it was really exciting. It was very brilliant people you're working with, but it took a health crisis and a layoff for me to find my destiny, and I was at the top of my health crisis. I was about 60 pounds heavier. I was chronically sick all the time, autoimmune just disorders and depression, insomnia, you name it, I had it. And so it did take a health crisis for me to get real with myself and my career. And I found the medical cannabis movement. So I came in as an entrepreneur. I thought definitely when Colorado legalized, I could make some brownies and goodies for my pastry experience and start a new career. But once I got there, I realized that there was a huge wellness movement, that this wasn't about, brownies and cookies. This was about really sick, chronically ill people and children, and was meeting, autism parents that were fighting for this medicine for their children, a lot that were totally nonverbal children that did self-abuse. And one of our main people that I work with is a family whose daughter is severely autistic and hits herself repetitively in the face over and over and over. 3,000 times in over 6 hours she hits to where she's broken her jaw or her jawline. She's broken her nose. Her whole little ear looks like a little UFC fighter. It's all cauliflowered out. And she wears a little pink helmet to help, lessen the impact of full fist hitting in the side of her face as she cries out, to you seeing her take a medication, a vapor treatment, and her relaxing, and the quality of life for her is so much better. Or you watch the medicine stop a seizure, like, this is real medicine and it's plant medicine. And so it really, the layoff and finding this movement really made me go back to natural foods and a holistic way of living, of understanding like plants were here before pharmaceuticals were, and there's a lot of medicine that we don't understand, like Eastern medicine. I don't believe that all medicine, plant medicines, are better than pharmaceuticals. I'm not saying that, but I'm thinking that there's a nice balance between Eastern and Western medicine. And we're just starting to understand some of the qualities that plant medicines have. I mean, when we talk about plant medicine, it could be, oil of oregano, that people are starting to do these tinctures, herbal tinctures that you can get from the store, and these things come from real plants that you can identify and that you can see how they go into a product and how those would be therapeutic to you versus a white pill that you don't know the source where it came from. You don't know where it's grown. You don't know how it's manufactured. So we're all starting to question these handling, sourcing, ethical practices of businesses, and I think that's an exciting place to be for myself, because it's not just about the cannabis movement. It's about the wellness movement, the food movement, anti-corruption, trying to get big business out of our government and reclaiming our food sources and re-energizing the farmers and cleaning up our waters and our air. I think those things are very exciting, and I want to be involved in change and not just contributing to the problem. And so, learning how to be better here in the home with my waste and what I'm putting out, and recycling, and my water usage and electrical usage. I think that people want to be conscious and mindful and work together. And I think history shows us that communities that work together thrive. And so, that's my passion. My passion is to be of service to other people. It shows in my first profession as a chef. That's all we do is serve people, and that's what brings me joy. The nonprofit has given me purpose, and has shown me that we need to be involved not just with primary elections, but we need to be involved with the entire legislative process. And so, to get something as progressive as medical cannabis through legislation, it's going to take new voices coming to the table, and maybe allowing a place at that table to people that you wouldn't necessarily think you would have a common ground with. So, a lot of these grassroots movement people that have been pushing legislation forward, they deserve a place at the table. So, anyway, that's my passion aside from my gardening and really being inside of my home, living, a farm life as much as I can. I try to have a good balance of motivation for work ethic and creating businesses and entrepreneurship, as well as my advocacy work. And then, just living life, trying to get a little piece of Brownwood back. So, that's really it. Thanks so much, Cody, for having me. And if anybody wants any information on how to be involved with making sure that medical cannabis moves forward, just shoot me a personal message, and I'd be happy to tell you more about our organization.